Okay, we've been working this week with customary units and metric units of capacity or liquid. Now we're going to move on to weight. We have units of weight and mass. Our I can statement is I can compare units of weight and of mass. So weight is going to be the measure of how light or heavy something is. We've talked about this before, where if you go on a different planet, you're going to have a different weight because weight is relative to gravity, how much the Earth is pulling on you. Yeah. Usually we weigh ourselves on scales. This helps us to know how heavy we are here on Earth, because if we weighed ourselves on the moon, it would be a different weight. Our customary system of measurement, we use weight because it is kind of standardized here in the United States. We know that a weight is a weight is a weight compared to other countries where they use mass, which is a little bit different. So 3 different measurements for weight. We have ounces, pounds, and tons. So an ounce, remember this is weight. We've talked about fluid ounce, but a fluid ounce had to do with liquid. We want to look at an ounce compared to how much it weighs. So I have this little comparison here. A key weighs about an ounce, so a key on your key ring is going to weigh about an ounce. A little kitten right here is going to be about a pound, and a giraffe is going to be about 1 ton. So you can kind of see the comparison between those 3. I'll leave that there. So something that would weigh about an ounce here, of course a key, but then I also took a picture of this. I had a whole bunch of paper clips and I put them on my scale. And on my scale, if you look real close, it says only about a half an ounce. Even all of these paper clips is only about a half an ounce. An ounce is pretty substantial. So, I'm going to put that down there for ounces. Then we have pounds. Of course, we weigh ourselves in pounds, but I always, when I'm making tacos, I'll make a pound of hamburger. There's about a pound of hamburger. Usually the recipes call for about that. So you can see relative size. It's about the same size as a kitten, would equal a pound. And then, I also had this for ounces. If I had 4 quarters, it might equal an ounce if I put all 4 quarters on my scale together. And then for ton, I have this garbage truck. It's going to be about a ton. And the one and only Ivan, they took Stella and put her into a garbage truck. So I wanted to also think about, well, how heavy would an elephant be? So I looked it up. An elephant is going to be about 3 tons. Full-size elephant can range between 5,000 pounds to 11,000 pounds. So you could get a ton is 2,000 pounds. So if an elephant is 5,000 pounds, it's 2.5 tons. Yeah. So imagine Stella going into the garbage truck. Ooh, that's sad. Sad times. All right. So we have our items that are tons. Would be an elephant is a couple of tons. A garbage truck is maybe 1 ton. Our pound of meat. Our ounces of half ounce of paper clips are here. An ounce is 4 quarters all put together, 1 ounce. And then of course we have a key, a kitten, a giraffe. So you can kind of think about how ounces, pounds, and tons go together. So that was customary. Next we have metric. And with metric, we use something different than weight, because remember, weight is dependent on the gravity. So they use mass. Any sort of matter that we've talked about has mass. It takes up space. Mass is a measurement of the quantity of matter in one object. Just measures it a little bit different. So we could still use that same scale that I used to measure the paper clips, but a lot of times mass is measured on a balance scale, which we happen to have here in the classroom, a balance scale. You can see on this balance scale that the soccer ball is on one side and then they have a weight on the other side, and it's saying this soccer ball is lighter than 1 kilogram because the kilogram is really low and the soccer ball is really high. So that's one way to measure mass. The smallest form of mass would be milligrams. So I chose this picture of medicine because inside some of these pills they'll say, okay, well there's 200 milligrams of something or 5 milligrams or something. I know if I get a headache I'll take ibuprofen, which each one of those tablets that I take is 200 milligrams, meaning it's tiny, 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 tiny. If I can fit 200 milligrams in something so tiny as this right here, when it's zoomed out, of course, because it looks big right now, but so milligrams are tiny, 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 tiny items. I also wanted to show you, oh no, we're going to move on to grams, that's right. So here's a picture of something that is 1 gram. 1 gram is this paper clip right here. That's how light, little amount of mass 1 gram represents. And then I looked it up, and a kilogram, this is flour. This is about 1 kilogram of flour, because 1 kilogram, 1 pound is about half of a kilogram. So if I have 1 pound of flour, I have 2 kilograms. I have 1 pound of flour, I have half a kilogram. There you go. So if I have 2 pounds of flour, I have 1 full kilogram. All right, go ahead and get this in your notes. In the customary measurement, this is how the things compare. 16 ounces, yep, for ounces we use OZ. 16 ounces, or that pound of hamburger was 16 ounces because it equals 1 pound. A pound is LB is how it's represented. Next, for a ton, 1 ton is the same thing as 2,000 pounds. So that elephant that was weighing between 5,000 to 11,000 pounds, we would say, okay, well 5,000 divided by 2,000, because that's how many pounds are in a ton. Cross, 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 cross. 2 goes into 5 2 times. So I would have about 2.5 tons is how much a elephant weighs. In the metric system, I talked yesterday about how the metric system goes in sets of 10. So we have King Henry died Monday, but this one is going to be grams because it's measurement. Drinking chocolate milk. So this is our milligrams. This is our regular grams. And this is our kilograms. We don't usually measure things in hectograms or decagrams or decigrams or centigrams. We usually measure them in milligrams, grams, or kilograms. A person's weight they would measure in kilograms. Food might be measured in grams, and then milligrams, like I said before, would be medicine. So 1,000 milligrams, boom, is the same as 1 gram. So I have to have 1,000 of these to equal 1 of these, which means these are tiny, tiny, tiny if I need so many of them to equal just 1. So if I had 2,000 milligrams, it would equal 2 grams. So the next one says I need 1,000 grams to equal 1 kilogram. So here's grams. If I have 1,000 of them, I can equal 1 of these. So that means if I had 2,000 grams, I would equal 2 kilograms here. Here I have a laptop computer. The question is, what makes more sense for me to say? Is this laptop computer more like 5 pounds or like 5 milligrams? See, we're comparing. We have, this is our customary, this is our metric. Does it make more sense that this would weigh 5 milligrams or that this would weigh 5 pounds? Well, thinking about the different objects that we had, for a milligram, I chose medicine. And for pounds, I chose a pound of meat. So thinking about how heavy that laptop is, it would make more sense if that laptop was 5 pounds. 5 milligrams would be tiny, 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 like powdery little dust. How about a dozen donuts? Here we have some Krispy Kreme donuts. No, I do not have Krispy Kreme donuts to give you. But if we had a pound of donuts, would it make more sense for those donuts to weigh 1 ounce? Or would it make more sense for those donuts to weigh 1 kilogram? Remember, ounces, I had a whole bunch of paper clips, and they only equaled 1/2 ounce, and 1 kilogram is about 1/2 pound. Nope. Half of a kilogram is about 1 pound. So if I have 2 of those, I have about 2 pounds. What would make sense? Even though I think donuts are a little bit lighter than this, I still think it makes more sense for it to be 1 kilogram, because 1 ounce is really small. 1 kilogram, at least I have something that resembles similar weight of donuts. Okay, after you watch the video, I want you to go ahead and access the assignment. It's going to be on Schoology. We have our secret number. So far, I've given you a couple of different clues. The number is odd. It's between 100,000 and 0. And the number in the 100 spot is divisible by 3. So today, I'm going to tell you that your clue is that the number is bigger than half of 100,000. It's bigger than half of 100,000. All right, access that assignment and happy mathing.